What's up? Welcome to another brand new episode of The Violent Mic, powered by Violent Money. I'm Daley Perales. With me as usual, Joe the Baller, Postman Jazz, and Dom the Black Panther Wooden. Today, let's kick things off. I want to talk about playing by the rules. Reason why I want to talk about this, the other day I was in the middle of training someone. I love questions. I like someone when they want an answer to their question when it comes to boxing. And they were talking about, inside fighting. And a lot of up and coming fighters, when you're trying to teach them, one of the things that these fighters are not used to is inside work. It's like they shy away from it. Obviously, it's understandable that when you're trying to learn boxing, it can be daunting to be in the line of fire. But I just think when you first start boxing, even if you're a little kid, you should teach that stuff from the beginning. You should install that spitefulness and teach them that times are going to get rough in there. You might get an elbow to the face. You might get a forearm under the chin. You might get a low blow. You might have someone that's trying to bully you to the ropes. Someone that leans in with their head. If you ain't been taught how to do that, not only how to defend that, but how to do that in training, then when it comes to fight under those lights, when someone takes you to that dark place and those trenches, that's when you're going to come unstuck. So I think a lot of fighters, they wait until it happens and they should get taught that it is a dirty sport. And there is rules, but you can break them if you know how to do it. And I think a top fighter, a top athlete, the best of the best athletes know how to manipulate the rules to give him that little bit of advantage. So what do you think about that, Dom? Because I know you got high level athletes in MMA, just as there is boxing. And obviously boxing, we only use the hands. MMA is basically everything goes.
Well,
almost, yeah. So tell me about rules in the MMA.
Yeah, obviously you've got your set rules and whatnot. And obviously there's certain rules and things you can't do within fights. But obviously there's lots of ways you could cheat in a fight. Do you know what I mean? Without the ref clocking on. Do you know what I mean?
You got any examples of that?
I'll give a prime example. Like we're clinching up against the cage and I'm holding my opponent up against the cage and I'm holding onto the cage as I'm holding him up against the cage because I don't want him to move because I want him to stay there.
Yeah.
So start little things like that, and also like grabbing shorts and stuff like that. Like in MMA, you're allowed to grab your own shorts if you're put in, like, for example, like a submission hold. You're allowed to grab your own shorts. You're not allowed to grab your opponent's shorts. So doing things like, for example, grabbing your opponent's shorts without the ref clocking on. Do you know what I mean? Different things. Also, punching at the back of the head. Obviously, most of the time it's unintentional, but sometimes if you can get away with it, then you can do it. Then you can do it.
Is there some organisations that allow the point of the elbow, or is that not allowed?
No, elbows are allowed. But
straight down on the point.
No.
On the head.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the rules?
You're not allowed, you can't do elbows that's going from 12 to 6. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But any others you can do, because obviously that's just 12 to 6 is just
straight down.
Like John Jones, he got DQ'd. His lone loss. He got DQ'd for doing the 12 to 6 elbow. He was in a position called full mount, and it's like one of the most dominant positions in MMA, and he chucked the 12 to 6 elbow.
Have you ever broken the rules in MMA?
I was gonna say, what are the rules that you can't do in MMA?
There's been a lot of illegal stoppages in MMA. Like, for example, downed opponents on 2 knees. You can't knee them in the head, and this happened in the UFC, and it happened even in other promotions as well outside of the UFC, where fighters were getting kneed in the head, obviously unintentionally, but just happening within the moment. Do you know what I mean? So that's been quite frequent as of recent in the MMA.
Wait a minute. So I've seen it loads of times. You mean standing up, laying down? You can't.
No, so like
because I've seen
the
it.
opponent's down. Like let's just say the
then you
opponent's,
can't.
let's
Okay,
just say the opponent's on all fours, and then as he's on all fours, he's trying to get up. So before he gets one foot on the ground, he gets kneed with both feet. With both knees on the ground, which is obviously illegal. Do you know what I mean, in MMA? So that's been quite frequent as of recent in MMA. Do you know what I mean?
You mentioning like, you know, when someone's on the ground, it just made me think about the difference between, you know, stoppages in MMA and boxing. It's like in boxing, when you have someone hurt and someone's all over the place and their legs are like jelly, basically it's like you got a license to finish them off.
That's why
you know what I mean?
You sign before you fight, you sign that way.
Where
do you know what I mean?
is in MMA.
That's the way it is. Do you know what I mean? You sign the waiver knowing that you're in, knowing the
when you're
type
in
of danger you're in.
But I want to talk about the difference though. The difference, like in MMA, I think it's. Would you agree it's quicker? Because if you knock,
stoppages, you're saying.
Yeah, the stoppages.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. This is why.
Yeah, do you know why the referees stop it that quick? In your opinion?
Reason being because obviously we don't want fighters fighting concussed. Do you know what I mean? That's where I say boxing is more dangerous than MMA.
Yeah, you did.
And I've spoken
you have said that.
this numerous times, and you kind of agree with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
You think it is? Yeah.
It is because in boxing you have you got the count once you get knocked down, and you can still continue concussed. Whereas in MMA, if you're hurt and you're not defending yourself properly and you're concussed, the ref's going to step in because he doesn't want you to continue fighting on with your brain concussed. You know what I mean? Because that's what leads to brain damage.
That's mad. Yeah.
You don't really hear too much brain damages in MMA like you would hear in boxing.
Considering you see, I can't remember what fight. You see it loads of times where they're on the ground for the whole round. And someone's constantly getting punched.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I wouldn't think boxing is more dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
The reason why you would think that because you're only just using hands. So when I talk to a lot of boxers, even including Daley, in the beginning he was like, "Oh, you guys can knee, elbow, kick." But the thing is, like,
and I was shocked. Yeah,
exactly.
I think I told you something like, "Does a kick must hurt or?" have more impact than a hand
if you're
to the
repeatedly getting kicked in the same spot.
To the chin.
Oh, to the chin.
And I remember you saying you'll rather get kicked than punched in the boxing gloves. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to be punched. I'm getting punched by boxing gloves. I sparred high level professional boxers. And the way boxers hit compared to MMA fighters is different. A lot different. Do you know what I mean? You're wearing boxing gloves, and we're wearing full
because I've made him spar pro boxers, and it's interesting. But to your credit, you obviously progressed, and that's the beauty about sparring, progressing, because you could spar someone where they, you know, it could be seen as they beat you up or got the better of you. But if you keep sparring that person, you're gonna find weaknesses. You're gonna get used to the way their punch feels. You're gonna get used to the tempo of their speed, their footwork, and all that. So he sparred this guy, a former Floyd Mayweather fighter, actually, Ashley Fairfain. And I think, yeah.
I spotted him twice. I think was it twice? Yeah, twice.
Yeah. But the first time him sparring him, the only way I could describe it is like Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. That's how it went. It was like that. More not because he didn't have the skill to beat him up. It was more the energy system, the stamina. Yeah. The difference in stamina. His stamina, MMA stamina, wasn't the same kind of stamina as a professional boxer. Yeah. And that's what told. And, Ashley Fairfain is, he's not one of those flashy fighters. He's one of those high guard, tight guard, walk you down kind of fighters. Yeah, kind of Mexican style. So if you haven't got that right boxing fitness, that fight fitness to fight a guy that keeps coming forward on you like that,
it's difficult.
Your talent ain't getting you through it, man. Your talent ain't getting you through it.
And the thing, especially like with my style, I'm more of a counter strike, counter fighter. Do you know what I mean? I like to move in and out, hit and don't get hit. Do you know what I mean? And as he was saying, different energy systems. Yes, completely different energy systems. It's like we can do 6 3-minute rounds of boxing, not even getting up to the halfway mark of all the rounds. After like 2 rounds, like intense rounds, I'm feeling it already. Do you know what I mean? Like the energy systems in boxing and MMA is a lot different. Like in MMA is more explosive. It's more more explosive, and whereas boxing's more like a marathon. Do you know what I'm saying?
And what did I tell you? The reason why he went back, sparred him again, and
totally different the second time is because I told him in boxing you can't move on your feet for every second of a round, because somewhere sometime in that 3 minutes someone's going to trap you and keep you there and force you to fight. So then when someone takes you from they're walking you down, you're getting away with it, dancing around the ring, eventually when he gets there, if you don't know how to sit, catch shots, tie up someone, fight fire with fire, if you don't learn to do that, you're finished. It doesn't matter how skillful you are. You could be the most talented and most skillful fighter on the planet. You can't just rely on skill. You have to learn the small details that's going to make you not just any athlete, but a great athlete. One that leaves behind a legacy. Because that's the kind of fighters I want to train. Fighters that want to leave a legacy. Because that's what it's about, man. Back to breaking the rules, though. A lot of rules are broken. We have it in boxing where you have people getting banned from using substances and stuff like that. Actually, when you go for a professional boxing license, that's one of the things they talk about is banned substances and things that you should stay away from, things you can't have, the punishment you'll get. I know you was talking about someone, actually, TJ Dillashaw, you was talking about something about happened a few years back.
Back in 2009, he got popped. He was meant to be fighting soon, May 8th, on UFC on ESPN card, but he had to get pulled out because he got a cut in training, so they have to reschedule that bout. But 2 years ago he got popped for EPO. Do you know what EPO is?
No.
Yeah, EPO is a type of performance enhancement drug. It produces a lot of more red blood cells than normal, which produces more oxygen. So obviously that gives you more cardio. Do you know what I mean? And he, if you go back and watch his fights, it seems like he never gets tired. Do you know what I mean? So it gives him that massive edge, especially in fighting like boxing, MMA as well. It helps because obviously it's cardio based. It's basically boxing and MMA, basically cardio based workouts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. Do you know what I mean? If you ain't got that and you've got skill and whatnot, your skill's only gonna get you so far. You need everything.
Yeah. But didn't he know that he's not allowed to take that?
Of course, everyone knows.
Take the risk, innit?
You gotta realise.
Bending the rules, man.
Yeah, you gotta realise.
That's like me going. That's like me bloody drink. That's like me going to taking alcohol in my system and going to do an alcohol test. If he knows he's gonna have a fight.
But there's in terms of combat sports and all the governing bodies and stuff, there's lots of loopholes and different ways.
Put it this way, bro. Put it this way. Let me put it another way. Obviously, I think it's wrong to use like that. You know what I mean? To get an advantage in sport. But let's put it this way. How about people that go out there, sell drugs, go and rob something for the reasons that they're trying to make money to keep their family alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's not cheating though. That's not cheating.
Yeah,
They're
cheating the system.
No.
There's people there.
Yeah. They're cheating the system.
They're cheating the system. That someone else, the person, for example, the person that they're robbing, you know, that person in that house, they might have worked 20 years to get that car was sitting there.
Yeah.
Or 20 years to get that house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but
I
get what you're saying, but it's not really that. You know, you're
cheating the system, as in you're taking drugs when you know you shouldn't be taking drugs.
Taking or selling?
To
What are you talking about? Selling or taking?
And Joe, don't you, and as well.
Selling.
This geezer is already a fighter. He's so even if he didn't take the drug, he still was gonna take that fight. He still was.
No, but I'm talking about risks. He's taking risks.
Yeah, but Daley's talking about selling drugs on a day-to-day basis. He ain't even talking about athletes.
Yeah, but
about a normal person.
Yeah, no, but a normal person.
You know there's a chance you're gonna get caught.
Exactly.
But as a normal person, it's that they decided to step into this lifestyle, yeah. But this person was in this lifestyle and decided to push the boundaries. Do you know what I mean? It's like
to cheat.
Yeah, to cheat because no matter what, he still could have won that fight with. Do you know what I mean? He still could have won that fight.
You say born into that life.
Yeah, well, not well, yeah.
I think every great athlete is born into.
What, into cheating?
No, into.
Yeah, but the thing is, what it is with like.
Into sports.
Listen, all sports, combat sports, whatever sports, there's always gonna be performance enhancing drugs around it. It's the nature of sports.
Yep,
I mean, especially at that the pinnacle, like the pinnacle of
the high
sport.
level, yeah.
Everyone wants to be on the same even level playing field. So if they find out one person's taking something to make them progress and elevate within their career, then they're gonna be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna do that as well. Do you know what I mean? It's each to their own, and you're doing it at your own risk.
On your risk, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I think more in MMA, than boxing.
I wouldn't say that. I would say both.
Both?
Both.
Yeah, I know both.
In terms of performance enhancing drug,
I'll tell you a story.
You would be surprised to know.
Do you personally know any stories? I've got a story.
Listen, I know a lot of people.
Right, you don't have to be.
Like,
yeah.
Obviously, I'm not gonna say it out.
You guys are all cheaters, man. You little cheating.
I'll tell you what. Before we move on, I'll tell you one quick story. Right. I was backstage at a show. And one of my fighters was fighting, and the main event was a Commonwealth title fight or something like that. I was in the same dressing room as the guy fighting for the Commonwealth title.
Right.
The challenger. Or the Southern area. Commonwealth. Anyway, straight after the fight, the British Boxing Board of Control, I think, and anti-doping people came straight into the dressing room. So I'm in the dressing room, so I can see all this going down. The anti-doping person wanted him to do sample urine, yeah? And he was refusing, bruv, in the dressing room.
You know then.
He was going, no, I'm not doing it. No, I don't want to. I don't know. And the guy was giving him every opportunity to do it. He was being nice to him. He was going, listen, is it because you can't go toilet yet?
Right.
He goes, I'll stay as long as you need for you to go toilet. If you're not ready to go yet, I'll stay here as long as you need, but I can't leave this room. I can't leave this room.
In case someone else does it
for him. I can't leave this room. In the end, he never done it, man. So he risked losing his license, man.
It's crazy.
Well, he did.
It's crazy to say because it's like obviously it's under the British Boxing Board of Control.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
They're strict.
In terms of like, do they do heavy drug testing or that only happens like as you get higher? Because in MMA, like for example, like the regional circuit, there's not drug testing like that because you got to realize as well, drug testing costs a lot of money to do. Do you know what I mean? So like the regional circuit in MMA, they're not testing fighters. Do you know what I mean? It would obviously be great to do that, but it just comes down to money because it's expensive to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So how does it work in the regional scene?
Well, it's quite similar. You know what I mean? Like obviously, if you're more elite, there's a lot at stake. You know what I mean? So obviously, you're going to be getting randomly tested all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
They could turn up at your house and give you like 20 minutes notice that I'm coming to the house to take blood samples and stuff like that. They could turn up at the gym while you're training and go, we're here to take a sample.
And if you refuse to do it, then what happens?
Yeah, well, you'll be banned, wouldn't you? You'll be banned or you get your license suspended or something. You know what I mean? And then, so a lot of people in boxing, though, have risked their licenses, believe it or not.
It's mad.
You know what I mean? By trying to bend the rules.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, when I went for my professional trainer's license, when they brought up, because as trainers, you have to learn about banned substances as well. Because if your fighter comes up to you and goes,
asks you a question and you haven't got no knowledge, he goes, coach, am I allowed to take this? You know what I mean? You're meant to be there trying to guide them and trying to, not make them do anything bad or put anything bad in their system. So you have to have the knowledge too. You know what I mean? Like Sudafed. You wouldn't think Sudafed is a banned substance in boxing. That's to treat a cold. You know what I mean? If a boxer doesn't know that, he's fucked.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Because I remember one fighter in the UFC. He tested positive because he suffers from eczema, and with eczema you get prescribed steroid cream and stuff. He got popped for that. Do you know what I mean?
And
it's just little minor things like that. Because obviously, the higher you are, the more sensitive the testing becomes. Like obviously, UFC is under testing governing body called USADA. They do Olympics as well. I think they do high level boxing as well.
You got USADA and you got WADA.
Yeah, and they're just they come at you whatever time pleases them. Do you know what I mean? They could come to your house 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yes,
man. Get your piss.
I mean, in the they obviously say it when you get your professional boxing license as a fighter. They always tell you that they could randomly turn up at your house or catch you on a show, even the small hall shows. We haven't personally had it done to us, so I don't know if they're saying that just to keep us aware.
Got you.
It's the one thing doing it. You know what I mean?
Got you.
But when I think about it like this, from my point of view, I feel like breaking rules and all that, playing by the rules and breaking rules, and I think it's so normal. Because even me, on my way here, I probably broke about 2 rules. Probably went past a couple of red lights. And all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? It's easy to you too. Exactly. It's easy. Everyone in this room right now today has broken at least 5 rules.
Yeah.
And it's easy to happen. Do you know what I mean? So I take that back about me saying you lot are cheaters and that, because if you guys wanna, do you know what I mean? If I wanted to get to work early, I'm gonna break a rule. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm gonna do it, and I do it. Do you know what I mean? So
that's if you're leaving the house late though.
Talking about breaking the rule.
Why are you doing that? What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Talking about
talking about breaking the rules. That's what I was gonna say. Someone got their jaw broken. You know what I mean? That should be a rule. That punch should be illegal against the rules. When Usman sparked Masvidal, the guy that runs his mouth and said Usman's punches, he can't feel them.
But that's why he got his jaw smushed out.
He said he don't punch hard. There's a clip, there's a meme going out. He don't punch hard. He can't hit. And then boom. But there's one thing saying you're going to go in the ring and knock someone out. But there's another thing landing that money shot. You know what I mean? There's and it's not as easy as that to try and knock someone out. You know what I mean? That's why I like Deontay Wilder. Yeah? Fury, Joshua, they're ahead of him now. But he's still the most dangerous puncher in that division. And he's the first person, actually, since Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis days, that's made me excited to watch him, because you don't know when that knockout is coming out of nowhere.
Every round every round from round 1, you're waiting for that. You're waiting
exactly
that one knockout, and then when you see it go, there it is. That's it.
When he fought Luis Ortiz the second time, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember.
The first fight was a good war as well, but the second fight, the distance that travelled between his glove, and his chin was so short. Yeah. But the way he turned his hips and turned his shoulder into it, the way he turned his foot into it, everything into it, you didn't need it to be a long shot. You know what I mean? It was a short shot out of nowhere. The sweat just come off. You know what I mean? When you see that in slow motion, you know what I mean?
Yeah, same thing.
You saw the sweat that come off of Masvidal's head.
Yeah. Just like that fight, talking about that fight, like that was a rematch. That was their second fight.
I saw. Sorry for cutting you off because I'll forget. Yeah. Usman, after winning that fight,
right?
The belt, he put it around his dad's waist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was a proud moment because I saw a picture, old school picture of him Usman in wrestling gear. You know the one where you wear the hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Covers the ears. Yeah. Old school picture, and his dad's right there with him in that picture while he's doing wrestling.
And he
so
always wanted to do that because
to see him spark Masvidal like that, and his dad collect that belt,
As
He
a
always wanted to do
nice
that,
moment,
you know what I mean?
man.
He always wanted to do that, and obviously he was able to do it. Obviously his dad wasn't around because his dad was in prison.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So obviously he finally got the chance to put that belt around his waist, and that was one of his goals. Getting into UFC, wrapping that belt around his waist. You know what I mean? But as for the rematch, that was obviously their second fight going into that event. Obviously the first fight, Masvidal scraped through one only on 6 days' notice.
Yeah.
He did well. Going into the second fight, he went back to the drawing board, and him and his team figured out they could do obviously a lot more with a longer preparation time. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, Jorge Masvidal said he doesn't hit as hard, or he doesn't do this, or doesn't do that as much as I thought he did. Do you know what I mean? So obviously going into the second fight, he basically underestimated his power
Massively.
and he didn't realise that.
Has he got amnesia, bro? I already said that, man. Has he got amnesia? I already said. Masvidal said in an interview that he punches hard.
No,
and he can't feel he can't punch hard. He can't feel his punches.
Exactly.
Already said that, bro.
Exactly.
You're a joker, bro.
He went into that fight thinking it was gonna be like the first fight, when he didn't even realise Kamaru was getting better as they were getting ready for the second fight.
Let's move on, man, because we might wake Masvidal up, bro.
He's still sleeping,
bro. He's still sleeping. But stay on Usman though, because was it Jake Paul calling out Usman?
Yeah, I see that.
How about that? Ain't Usman like he's like not giving him any time of day though? Like not really interested.
Why should he?
But this guy, like,
Oh, he could because it's big money.
Yeah, that's true.
If he doesn't, that's a lot of respect going to him, because he could easily chase that.
Yeah,
because like you said, the money, he can easily chase that, secure himself more financially by fighting him.
But there's some fighters that just there just because that's what they like to do. They want to fight. I mean, they want to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
This guy,
So that's why I would respect him.
Yeah, this guy's come and proven what he's wanting to do. What's he got to go do? If he took 6 fights to go fight the other geezer, he can wake up in the morning tomorrow and go fight Jake Paul, I reckon.
But do you think Jake Paul's serious though? Like call in.
I think it's you know what it is with Jake Paul. It's funny because he's not calling out no boxers, not even low level boxers.
Yeah.
He's calling out, for example, like MMA fighters, like highly respected,
Like Ben
world-class-
Askren,
world-class
who's
MMA fighters that have no background in boxing.
Nothing at all.
He's trying to look good against them. Oh, I beat this guy, and he's doing this.
Yeah.
So
But
that's what people say to me now.
Usman might. I think Usman will get a lot of respect by not entertaining him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
He's not stupid, bro.
No, I mean,
He's probably maybe about the respect part, but he might not be stupid as well, because he might be thinking, why am I going to go into a sport that, you know?
What, do you reckon this geezer actually thinks he's got a chance?
No,
Or
I'm not saying.
exactly,
I'm
this was
not,
become a
I'm not
fight.
saying.
He's
No,
not-
I'm not saying you got a chance. I'm just saying. I respect every man that steps in the ring. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of guts to do that.
He's like self-made as well, man.
Yeah.
Like Jake Paul.
Like, the thing is,
Self-made, man.
He's doing his thing. Like, let him do his thing.
Like if anything you chose to do, you lot. Yeah. If you can make money out of it, if it come your way, all right. If someone come to you tomorrow, you know what I mean, and said, I'm gonna pay you for a modelling job for 10 grand, you're gonna do it, innit?
Yeah, easy.
You're gonna do it tomorrow, innit? Why is it different?
Because all you got to do is stand there and take pictures.
So? Yeah, but maybe he likes to fight. So that might feel the same as someone that's, you know, standing there just doing a shoot. You know what I mean?
Alright, for example, I've never boxed in my life. Right. I think Daley put me on the pads when we were like 17 or something.
Well, you never had a punch up or nothing?
No, I've had a fight, I'm not boxing. If I said to you, Dom, I want to fight you.
How much you talking?
I don't know, but I just said I want to fight you, That's disrespect to him.
To me?
Yeah, that's disrespect. I've never fought in my life.
You know what? You say that.
You probably think you can give him a go, innit?
I would laugh at first. I'd I'll be like,
Exactly,
what do you mean?
exactly, you'll laugh. Exactly.
Nah, he's taking the piss.
Yeah, exactly. You know
What you're saying there, though, let's just switch it up a little bit now. Let's not be too soft, unrealistic.
Yeah.
Let's say he's a top famous boxer.
Yeah.
You don't know how to fight, but your profession is something else.
Yeah.
You get offered 5 million to step in the cage with him.
Oh, come on, that's easy, man.
You gonna do
It's
it?
easy money, but I'm
Yes,
risking my bloody life.
5 million though. 5 million.
Even if you die, you put that in your family's will.
I'll take it.
Talking about a will, yeah. The other day, because I wrote a will, but by email, to my wife, right?
Is that how old you're getting?
Listen, but I said, the other day it came out because we were talking about funerals and stuff like that. I think it was DMX and all that. DMX, yeah. And I was like, remember, keep my will safe, yeah? And she goes, that ain't bloody real will. You can't just send me an email. We have to go down to the solicitors and you have to be real. I didn't even know, you see? I didn't even know. So, and teaching you lot, when you gets to that time, make sure you get your will and do it properly. Lawyers, you need lawyers.
You guys are gonna die before us.
You need lawyers. You know what I mean? Money, 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 money. What's money mean to you, Joe?
Money.
Yeah, money. Come on, man.
No, it's good to have money, but for me, money is a root to all evils, man.
Say it again.
Yeah,
Say it again.
yeah, get deep on it, man. Come on.
Yeah, no. Look, we all like to have money in our pockets to do stuff and, buy the clothes and buy fancy cars or whatever. But for me, money is a root to all evils. That's how I see it. Listen, I was never brought up with money. My parents were never brought up with money. So whatever, I see life more important than money. If I've got money, I've got it. If I don't have money, I don't have it. As simple as that. It's good to go out there and have a career or whatever, making money. That's fine.
Right.
But for me, I always see that root to evilness with money.
Oh, yeah. I always.
Yeah, of course, I believe that. Depending on the circumstances as well, I definitely believe that. You know what I mean? Like, money comes and goes, and obviously having money just gives you the freedom to do certain things that you weren't able to do before if you didn't have money. Do you know what I mean? And for other people as well. Do you know what I mean?
No, I was just going to say, and, I try to install in my kids that, you might want this and you might want that, but also, and they do get it, you know what I mean? But I always try to teach them not to be so spoiled and understand, listen, we might not be rich yet, and I'm trying to make us rich. I'm trying to make us financially secure where we don't have to look at
Rich or wealthy? What are you trying to be? Rich or wealthy?
Either one.
comfortable, man. Comfortable, where I don't have to where I don't have to go on a app and always look at the balance.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. If I see something and I want it, I can get it. You know what I mean? Because I've lived that life where I've had nothing. You know what I mean? So I think I deserve to be able to look at account, be able to look at my account just because I want something. Talking about champions, Canelo got a big fight versus Billy Joe Saunders.
On that note, shout out to Billy Joe Saunders on his last fight, winning the violent money.
Oh, I saw that.
Money,
Yeah, sucks, yeah.
There's a good snap actually, and that could be seen down the line as an iconic violent money, picture. You know what I mean? 100%. The one where he's on the stage, about to walk out. That's legendary. I was watching something of him the other day, and he was talking about, and I never knew this. It was such a shock to hear that one of his fights a while back, like one of his recent ones, his brother got kidnapped leading up to the fight, and he spent 3 days negotiating. With the people to get his brother released.
Wow. What are they asking for?
Obviously, money, but he never said how much. He said he got him back, and he was saying that imagine if that was his daughter. You know what I mean? Or his parents. He said it would be much worse. And he said, I done all that, my brother being kidnapped, trying to negotiate his release, and still had to do 1,000 interviews to the media, and then still get in the ring and perform. Now that's a freaking athlete right there. That's a champion right there, where you can leave everything outside just for those 12 rounds or however long it lasts, and go and do your freaking job like a warrior. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know that. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Crazy. And that for me is one of the, everyone goes through shit. But I'm just saying, Canelo, you know, there's a reason why he's pound for pound the best.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's making all that money. You know what I mean?
He's lost one fight to who?
Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather losing that fight taught Canelo a great lesson. Imagine if he never fought Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly.
Would we see the Canelo we have today? We might have a good version of that. But that
This is the
Mayweather,
best version, though. This is the
the
best version.
Mayweather fight taught him so many lessons, man.
And that was a good fight as well.
And ever since there, he's improved. He ain't gone backwards. He's just improved. He's dominated weight divisions. He's gone up weight divisions. He's won belts in all the weight divisions he's been in. And I think the caliber of fighters he's boxed and he's faced as well. Also young lions trying to come up and try and take him out. I think that's the reason why I make him favourite to Billy Joe. I love Billy Joe, man. I love his skill set, Billy Joe. Love his skill set. But the fact that he ain't a puncher. And now I know people will go, yeah, but doesn't matter. He can outbox him. But I just think Billy Joe, he boxed someone called Lemieux. Do you know Lemieux? Lemieux.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lemieux, strong fighter, big puncher, but he comes forward and he doesn't really have a skill set where it's moving his head, being a bit slick. Canelo mixes his skill set with moving forward aggressively to close distance and then punish you with vicious shots, spiteful shots. Yeah, elusive. He's also can go on a dance if he wants to go on a dance. He can be slick on the back foot. You know what I mean? I think he's just all round the better fighter. You know what I mean?
think he started turning. He started making that. He started cutting that corner, making that turn in terms of becoming the fighter he is. And I think when I saw him fight Miguel Cotton,
Yeah.
that was a fight where I was just like, you know what? Yeah, like he was doing certain things that he wouldn't do before, and like that's obviously through his training and how he was evolving. And from that fight, I was just like, yeah, he's definitely gonna.
This is the fight where I like if it could be achieved, which in boxing anything can happen. Canelo has to not lose at some point. It's just has to come across someone that might.
You couldn't say that for Mayweather.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
But you got to think.
There might be he's gonna come along. Someone's gonna come along and give him a tough fight.
Who do you reckon that's out there right now?
Billy.
You reckon that would be
It's going to be a tough fight,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying eventually, though.
yeah.
I'm saying eventually, after going through a few little storms, you know what I mean? Not as in him getting hurt, just trying to figure out Billy Joe, because he's one hell of a boxer, man. His boxing IQ is on another level.
I like Billy Joe.
But eventually, Canelo, that's what I'm saying. Because he's aggressive and because he has that punching power, which Billy don't have compared to him.
Yeah.
He has that punching power. He's mixed that punching power with slickness, which means even though Billy Joe is the slicker boxer, Canelo is still slick. So he can't think he can go around the ring and just run rings around him. He's more intelligent than that Canelo. He's a high level tactician.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tactician.
Look what he done to Callum Smith.
Tactician.
What did he do to Callum Smith? What did he do to Callum Smith though? You tell me the word I mentioned earlier, spiteful. What did he do to Callum Smith? No one knows what he done to Callum Smith. I'll tell you what he done to Callum Smith.
Boxed him, mate.
Boxed him, obliterated.
No, yeah. Well, Canelo always does that. He's cool with that. He freaking repeatedly smashed him in his arm.
Why did he
I realised that,
repeatedly, round by round, smash him in his, keep punching him in his arm?
He comes
Why?
with a big fucking
Yeah, his arm was swollen. It looked like, yeah, disgusting, man. It looked like how, you know, the guy you kicked in when you was fighting on Bellator.
Right. My first fight.
Yeah.
Against Daley Perales.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
His leg. That was on his arm. With the way his leg looked, that was on his arm. Why did he do that to him? Because they knew that Callum Smith has a good left hook. And not just a good left hook, a good check hook. A good counter hook. So Callum Smith is good at catching a shot and then countering with the left hook. That was one of his best shots. He'd catch it there and catch him with the left hook. You know what I mean? Or he'd catch him on this side. All that weight has shifted to the left-hand side. He swings that left hook back. That was one of his money shots, Callum Smith. So they saw that by studying him, that if we get close to him, because he's tall, because he's rangy, because he has a height, when I close the distance, he's going to just try and catch and shoot off it. So they realised that. Take it away. And that's what I'm talking about, being dirty in the sport of boxing. A lot of people don't like me talking about that, but it's the truth, man. You got to be spiteful in this game. You can't go in there trying to bloody pans about the ring. You got to be spiteful. That's why I said it's going to be dirty. It's going to be rough in there. No one's trying to take away a slick fighter. Because I always say a fighter, never take away their natural ability. If they're good with their hands down and being slick, let them be slick with their hands down. But it's them understanding that when to keep the hands up at the right moment. Are my feet in the right place here? Can I get hit in this position? You know what I mean? And this is what I'm talking about, learning to stand there and trade in the darkest moments. You know what I mean? So that's high level boxing, and that's the difference, man. That's why I think Canelo's gonna win.
Definitely. I believe Canelo wins as well. How about you, Jeff?
I'll be happy if Billy Joe wins.
Same here. I'll be happy.
Yeah,
same here. But even when you put his fight record up and who he lost against, in my eyes, I'll take that away. I see him as, I mean, we talk about the best fighter ever, Mayweather. I just take that away. This geezer's never lost a fight. You know what I mean? So I'll say him straight away.
Mayweather, talking about Mayweather, we're talking about goats, and we've got a goat in women boxing.
Yeah, the GOAT.
GOAT.
Yeah, the GOAT.
The greatest woman of all time. Clarissa Shields. Got our fights lined up in, believe it or not, MMA.
Yeah.
June 10th.
June 10th
against Brittany
PFL.
Elkin.
Yeah, on PFL.
PFL card. Brittany Elkin, I think, got a 3-6 record. She's appeared in Bellator, and she must be happy that Clarissa Shields is coming over to her world. And Clarissa Shields is brave for doing it. Because
100%.
no boxers, I think, probably James Toney.
There was one in Bellator called Heather Hardy, I think. Heather Hardy.
Yeah.
She's a boxer. She's fought for Bellator as well.
So
yeah, man. But as for Clarissa Shields, she's coming out. She's putting herself out there, fighting on PFL. Hats off to her. Do you know what I mean? Because not a lot of boxers are willing to come over because you got the different disciplines you have to learn. So.
And Clarissa Shields thinks training out of Jackson Wink.
Yeah, she's
Jackson Wink Academy.
Yeah, she trained with Greg Jackson.
So that
Jackson Winklejohn.
She must have good coaches behind her.
100%.
Yeah, she's taking it serious.
I think she does. Obviously, the person she's fighting is obviously not a high level MMA fighter. Obviously, she's coming in from boxing, so obviously they need to set her in correctly. Do you get what I'm saying? They're not going to give her solid high level opponent straight away because it's her first fight.
But my fear would be for her if she gets taken to the ground though.
That's the thing. That's
how fast has she picked that stuff
that's
up?
What I'm saying. You know that's where it comes to where you're training at. So now she moved her camp for training for this fight in Albuquerque, Mexico with Greg Jackson, good gym. Holly Holmes fights out there. Holly Holmes, the lady that beat Ronda Rousey to win the title a few years back. John Jones, she trained with John Jones, so obviously you can see by the names that's a high level gym.
That's
One
a
of
fame. The Jackson Wing Academy is a famous
MMA
famous
gyms.
MMA
Yeah,
gym.
one of the best MMA gyms. One of the best MMA gyms in the MMA world. Do you know what I mean? So she's in good hands, and obviously for her, in MMA, obviously she's got the hands. She's got the hands.
Yeah.
I don't think no one can compete with her with the hands when it comes to hands in MMA. But at the same time, hands in MMA is a lot different. The range is different. Gloves are different.
Yeah, you got wide
She's wearing 8 or 10 ounce gloves. You're wearing 4 ounce gloves. Whole different feel. Do you know what I mean? But obviously in training, I'm assuming that she's obviously worked on her takedown defense and obviously her grappling. Because really and truly, all she really needs is just to have the hands, be able to sprawl on takedowns, and defend anything on the ground if it does go to the ground. Do you know what I mean?
Fair play to her because she's daring to be great, man.
Yeah, she is, man. And the thing is, I've seen some videos of her training her kicks and that.
Yeah.
She looks
good, yeah.
She looks. You know what? You would think she's trained in MMA for quite a while. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and for her, why not do both?
Exactly.
Because we all know in women boxing, whether
it's not as prolific as like women's MMA.
I'm talking about pay, the money.
Yeah.
The money is like a big gap between men and the women that get paid in boxing.
Yeah,
right. Hopefully that changes in the future as more women are starting to do boxing. Obviously, you've got Clarissa Shields, you've got Katie Taylor representing the women, and you've got younger ones coming up behind that are looking good as well, like Savannah Marshall, who fights like similar to Tyson Fury. So that would be an interesting fight as well. So I'm looking forward to Clarissa Shields doing her thing, man.
Yeah,
crossing over, trying to break another record for her. You know what I mean? So good on her.
Yeah, for sure, man.
No regrets, I say.
Exactly.
No regrets.
Can't regret that. Win or lose, can't regret that.
Got any regrets? Got any regrets, Joe?
I've got a few, but the main one for me is school. Not taking school seriously. As you get older, you look back now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think to myself, if I took school seriously, things could be different. I know everything happens for a reason, but I wish I took school seriously. That's probably one of my biggest. I got kicked out in year 10, man.
Yeah, but at the same time,
for throwing a pencil at a teacher, because he ain't.
You're a gunner.
I was in detention. Listen, I was in detention. Yeah, I remember I had my cheese roll, and this is no joke. He came up to me, took my cheese roll, went on his desk, and ate my cheese roll in front of me. Yeah.
Right.
So I had the pencil. When you used to do that in school.
Yeah, you get the
I remember that. Yeah, I remember
So I had
that.
the pencil. I was in school, and I flicked it, hit him. He come over to me, grabbed me up like that, said get up, and then I punched him.
Right.
Yeah, got kicked out.
Yeah, you're nicked.
Whoa.
Finished. So that's my probably I would say regret.
You don't regret
punching him.
Yeah, obviously because I got kicked out.
Getting kicked out.
Remember you was in school and teachers always used to say to you, you're going to regret when you leave school, and you used to look at them thinking, you're sick in the head. I can't wait to leave this place. And like you said, if I'll do anything to go
back,
I'll do anything.
Yeah. What about you, D?
Regrets. Now, that's a hard question, but one of the things regret is probably not being able to give my kids more than what I can give them now. Because I know how it felt to have nothing. So I want to give them everything. So there might be certain things, when you're making so many sacrifices in life, especially like I do, you gotta understand when you're training pro fighters, you don't know shit from pro fighters. You know what I mean?
We're not at the beginning,
No,
not at the beginning.
no, it's a lot of hard work, and there's only a small percentage that can really get to the top. So that's why I only take on fighters that I really believe can get there, because I don't want to waste my time with this shit. I want to secure my legacy. I want to feed my family, make them financially secure. So I don't want to, regret. Go have that feeling of not being able to give my kids what they want.
So that's my biggest regret right now. And new beginnings is me being a coach. I never knew that I was going to be a coach. I thought it was boxing, but that didn't work out for a number of reasons. But obviously something was calling me, man, to be a coach. Because that's where I shine, man. That's where I'm in my world there. Outside of the gym, I don't feel the same. When I step into that gym, that's my world. I created that. No one else created that. I create that, and no one can mess it up.
Yeah.
So that's why I go in there and I train to the highest level. I train these fighters to the highest level. I don't get shit from them right now. But best believe they will make it. And then I will get my kids everything they want.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. A lot of people in life, they don't really go after what they want. You know, and that's what I'm doing. I'm making sacrifices. So even if people go, oh, he's mad, you know, putting all that energy into boxes, you know what I mean? I'll sacrifice now, I'll smile later.
Yeah, facts.
Jazzy Frizzle. Doubting myself. But other than that, no, because I'm happy for who I am now. I'm happy for what I've got. I'm happy for my kids and my family and my friends. So I live for today and I fight for the future. So all the regrets, they're gone now. They're done. You know what I mean?
Done.
Yeah. So I leave it in the past. So regrets, no.
Same thing like him, like with regrets. Obviously, at the time of certain things and situations happening, you feel the feeling of regret. But obviously, when you look back down to it, like later on, like I believe everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
Literally, I was thinking that.
yeah, everything happens for a reason, and the thing is, like, a lot of things happen in my career. Like, I'm still fresh in my career. You know what I mean, I'm still young. I've got 10 to 12 years left in this game. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even 25.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Before we go, tell me one you just said about you got regrets in your career.
Yeah.
Give us one.
Yeah.
And then give us something positive afterwards, because with every regret, you always want to turn something.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
you know what I mean?
obviously, coming into the game so young, being around tons of people that are a lot older than me. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, hearing what they have to say, listen to what they got. So I'm just this little kid here, just trying to do what I'm trying to do, trying to make myself someone within this sport. Do you know what I mean? Which I'm still doing right now. And obviously, certain people that were placed in my life at the time, obviously, weren't the correct people. Looking back at it now, but obviously, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and obviously, there's always better days ahead. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, as of right now, like you said, going into new beginnings, like things like, for example, like training, for example, like shifting things within training, things outside of fighting, like for example, relationships and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So coming out of bad relationships, going into new relationships and better relationships. Do you know what I mean? So. Like I always say, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and as of right now, I'm happy. And I don't have regrets. Like, everything happens for a reason. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
I think that's a good way to end. Joe the Baller, Dom the Panther Wooden,
Boom.
Postman Jazz. It's been emotional, but it's been informational. I love this episode. We are the Violent Mike, powered by Violent Money. We'll see you soon.